You're listening to the Pittsburgh Piledriver.
What the hell is that?
Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and thank you once again for joining us on the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast. We have an action-packed, clam-baked, doozle-dally dingleberry of a show for you today. That last thing was not a good thing. Edit. We're going to do an AEW Revolution Picks Super Show. We're going to do AEW Revolution Picks. We're going to do general wrestling banter. We're going to do yelling and screaming and cursing at each other. You know, the stuff that we normally do. Hashtag P3, baby. I am one of your four illustrious hosts. I am the Duke of Danishes, Ransom the Madman. Joining me is the Principal of Pastries, Poot the Bard. Coming up, we also have, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Sultan of Steaks, Tiger Bomb Tom, and rounding us out, everybody, bow down your heads and give praise to the galactic overlord of the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast, the master of meats, the king of the Chinese buffets. He is your galactic ruler of the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast, the cruiserweight champion of us all, Beef the Legend. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
I'm so taken aback by all the food, by all the fooding. I don't know whether to laugh or cry of hunger or both. I don't know.
Have a nice day.
I've been wonderfully craving some terrible breakfast pastries lately, and I haven't had any, and it's been weighing on my mind. And as you can tell, it's still weighing.
He hungry.
You
He
know,
hungry.
Sam's Club has some wonderful breakfast pastries, along with some wonderful sushi.
They don't
Yeah,
sponsor
I
us.
won't be buying.
Not
won't
a
be buying
sponsor, but that'd be
anything-
cool.
I won't be buying anything at Sam's Club other than sushi and the cheesecake sampler. So shut up.
Cheesecake
Let's
sampler's
do
so
some
good.
picks because I'm gonna get hungry and just leave the show and go to Sam's Club. So you better start the show
Do
with
it.
some picks before I get too hungry and peace out.
Fuck.
I've already had some rum, so screw it. Does Sam's Club do DoorDash?
I don't know.
I mean,
Sam's Club sells doors, and you can dash out the store with them.
Fucking hell.
that's a
Poot
point.
or Beef, can you please take over this? This is going
Yeah,
off the
man.
rails. I hate everything. I have nothing but
okay.
contempt for you people.
So let's talk about some picks here. Now, before we do the picks, I'm sure that everybody wants to hear the standings again.
No, we don't.
So, okay, well,
Yes,
good.
we do.
Yes, we do.
no. Well, leading the pack, coming out of the jungle, is Tiger Bomb Tom with 30 points. Poot the
Yeah.
Bard
No.
has
No,
29 points.
Incorrect.
No.
Oh yeah, baby.
No. You forgot from last time, Beef. Pat's ahead of me. Pat's ahead of me. He's got
Sure.
33.
Yep. Well, I consciously left him out because I know he's
Oh.
going to fail.
Nah.
Oh.
So
Oh.
Pat, you are correct. I stand corrected. Pat, the maniac, the bastard, the man who sends in a million questions and gets maybe one out of every, 2,700 right. Well,
700. That's generous.
10,000.
anyway,
100
anyway, Pat's in the lead with 33. Tom
Not for
has
long.
30. Poot has 29. Also, Amber has 29. But again, no, I'm sorry, Jimmy.
Nipping at
Has
your fucking
29.
heels.
Amber is close behind at 27, but don't worry, she'll choke that away. Healing
Yep.
up.
Wow.
Then comes the rest of us.
Oh.
With 25, Corey is right there. And then your
Good
humble champion is at 24.
Oof.
Behind
catch up.
me sit both Dave and Ransom
As I
with
should be.
22 points.
I should always be behind Beef.
Giggity.
Yes.
Hashtag power top.
I've seen
It's
it happen.
Revolution. Synced it.
See-
It's Revolution, boys. And
Which means Beef is going to plow ahead forcefully.
yeah, well, we'll see. I suspect that there may not be a lot of differentiation on picks, but we'll see.
Hey, can I ask you a question real quick, Beef, before we start the picks?
Yes, sir.
Sorry. Are you still feeling a little underwhelmed about this card as we approach the pay-per-view weekend, or have you turned around on that a little bit?
No, I mean I'm excited for it. I
Doesn't sound like
I
it.
think. Well, so I had to compartmentalize some stuff. I think Dynamite was really good the other night. Danielson had a really good promo. The face of the ladder match, the face of the Revolution ladder match was pretty good. Pay-per-view quality, I'd say. So it's a shame. It's a shame it was not a pay-per-view. There certainly are some things that I do have some issues with the card, with the AEW in general right now. But I think that there's a lot of really great opportunities on this card to really shine through. So, looking at the card here, here's what we're looking at in not the order that we're going to pick them. MJF defends his title against Bryan Danielson in a 60-minute Iron Man match for the AEW World Title. I believe this is the first 60-minute Iron Man match in AEW history. I could be wrong.
No,
but I believe
it
this
is
is the first hour-long Iron Man match, and I can't think of two people better suited.
I was just gonna say that, man. Those two are perfect. They have the endurance, they have the talent, and the ability to tell a fucking story. Boner time.
Yeah, man.
Wait.
The Guns,
Shut
Colt
your mouth,
and
Andy
Austin
Bernard.
Gunn, the champions, defend against the Acclaimed, Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, and Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. John Moxley takes on Adam Page, the Hangman, in a Texas death match, which ought to be fucking stellar. Samoa Joe.
What's the over under that Moxley starts bleeding like within the first 10 minutes?
It happens.
Oh my god. Take the over, or take the under on that one. I give it 5 minutes. Moxley comes out and starts cutting a promo and he starts bleeding.
Poor Moxley.
He knows.
Poor Renee.
Yeah, Moxley's gonna look like Abdullah the Butcher in 20 years.
Oh God.
But Samoa Joe defends the TNT title against Wardlow.
Fucking Samoa Joey.
Samoa Joe,
that fat ass.
Chris Jericho faces Ricky Starks in a singles match in which the Jericho Appreciation Society are banned from ringside. Important to note, it was initially stated that everybody would be banned from ringside, and later changed to the Jericho Appreciation Society would be changed to ringside.
Big twist.
Jamie Hayter defends her women's title against Saraya and Ruby Soho. The Elite, which are Kenny Omega, Matt, and Nick Jackson, a.k.a. the Young Bucks, take on the House of Black, which is Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews, in a trios match for the AEW World Trios title. And Christian Cage takes on Jungle Boy Jack Perry in a no-holds-barred match. Those are our matches. There are 8 of them. I think that there are a lot of really standout matches on the card. I think I'm just thrown because to me, AEW Revolution has always been kind of a hallmark for the tag team division. I think that the tag team title matches were always just incredible. So the fact that the AEW tag team titles are in such a meh match this year is kind of shocking to me. But, here we stand. It is what it is. I think it's funny that on Rampage... So, AEW likes to do this thing where, like, the whole week leading up to an event is sometimes considered kind of part of the event. Hence why Dynamite was big. And then on Revolution, we get, Dustin Rhodes and Keith Lee taking on Swerve and I think Parker Bordeaux. And then you get a fatal 4-way tag team match on Rampage on Friday, which is Top Flight, the Blackpool Combat Club, and I forget the other two. But like those two teams made me go, why the fuck aren't they on the fucking pay-per-view? So, take it in, enjoy all the cards for what they are. The tag team title match is what it is. But I mean, honestly, outside of the tag team title match, I'm pretty excited. I think that there are going to be some really good and fun matches here.
I would have to think that some of those matches were not included on the actual card because of the time restraints of the 60-minute Iron Man match.
Probably.
Absolutely. But I still think that they could have booked mainly the tag team title match. The women's match, I think, absolutely could be better. I think it'll be good, but it could have been better. I was really hoping that Toni Storm and Britt Baker got added to the card, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So, all that said, let us not beleaguer this any longer. Let's do our picks. I didn't sit down and math this one out, so I don't know where we're going to end up. I'll lead off the picks because I'm a defending champion, and that's how I roll. We're going to start with Christian Cage versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry. This has been a weird feud because Christian's been hurt. So, like, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus had to kind of carry this to start.
Yeah.
And then, like, when it was going to amp up, that's whenever Christian got hurt. And it's like, So Jungle Boy was kind of caught in this weird nexus. But now Christian's back. And at the end of the day, it's got to be Jungle Boy. This hopefully, God willing, is the send off to this feud, and Jungle Boy can move on to bigger and better things. So, give me Jungle Boy for 4 points. Poot?
Oh, you said it. It absolutely has to be Jungle Boy, but I'm gonna go a little bit riskier doodles on this one. I'm gonna go Jungle Boy with 6. It just does not make sense for Christian Cage to win. And I know that's like the kiss of fucking death around here for a pick, but like this is the story to get him out of that chicanery and that jiggery pokery with Christian Cage, and it's time to send him on forward to bigger and better things, prove he's a man, and like onward and upward. It's Jungle Boy, period.
Ransom?
Jungle Boy, big 7.
7. All right. Tom?
Jungle Boy for 5 points.
All right. That's kind of what I was worried about happening. A lot of the same, and maybe we'll get some diversification here a little bit later, but hopefully the picks aren't too samey. Hopefully we get some excitement here. Chris Jericho faces Ricky Starks. Again, the Jericho Appreciation Society is banned from ringside, but not everybody. Now, I don't know if it was just a wording issue that they wanted to change it, or if that's like a little bit of a spoiler, like that this may not go down clean.
Well, was it listed on the Wikipedia as everyone, or did they say it on AEW television that everyone?
I believe when it was signed initially, it was announced everybody. Okay. Tom, you and this fucking Wikipedia, man. That's that any motherfucker can edit this thing, right? Like no.
Well, that's why I asked.
Yeah. Yes, on AEW TV, it was, I think, originally announced that it would be everybody barred from ringside, and later changed to the Jericho Appreciation Society. Again, it could absolutely just be nomenclature, but if that factors into your decision making at all, I just want to be fair and above board. Poot, who you got?
Oh, my pick is fucking absolute, baby. It's Ricky Starks. Again, I feel like this event, looking at what we have going on, like all the matches and everything, I really feel like this is kind of like a point where we're going, all right, we gotta deliver here. We gotta start building new stars, having Jack Perry win this feud and move on. And Ricky Starks, we've sung his praises for so long, and getting the rub from Jericho would be huge because, Jericho, I mean, he does stuff that's when Jericho does stuff that you go, that's not very good for Jericho, that's still fucking usually stellar for any other performer. So I'm going to go with Ricky Starks on this one. Stonks. Oh, I want to make a Stonks meme with Ricky Starks. I am going to go with my 4 on Ricky Starks.
Ransom.
I'm going to hedge my bets on jiggery pokery happening. Something shady is afoot. It's got to be. It's got to be. Someone's going to come out. There's going to be a new member of the Jericho Appreciation Society. I'm calling it now. Y2J. The Painmaker. Chris Jericho. 5 points.
Tom.
This is one of those matches that could really go either way. Because I can totally see what Ransom is saying happening as a scenario. But I also agree with Poot that Ricky Starks could really benefit from the win and getting the rub from Jericho. I mean, either way, he's getting the rub from Jericho being in the feud in the first place. So this is going to be my 1-pointer. And I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to say Ricky Starks.
Damn it, Tom. I need you to start going bigger on these toss-up matches because
No.
need to make some ground.
Figure it out.
Damn it, Tom. I can't figure it out. You're too far ahead of me.
I'm only 6 points ahead of you. It's not that far.
Fair.
We got 2 nights of WrestleMania after this event. So, I mean,
Nights.
2 nights. It's nice.
Voila.
Yeah.
Voila.
So
Yes. I love it.
to be fair.
To be fair.
Nice work.
Yay.
Nice work, everybody.
We're hitting all
That's
the
what we-
beats. All the
That's
beats.
what we call it. That's what we call a callback.
I
Oh,
think
boy.
I think that I read something that AEW may have filed for Jericho.
Oh, no.
So
Yeah.
Big Show may well
God.
insert himself here.
Dead team.
What
But-
the fuck?
Someone's in the back of the auditorium.
Yeah, what the hell happened to your microphone, Poot?
But
I'm pretending to be a fucking heckler. That's what I'm doing.
He's off getting snacks.
but
You know me all too well, buddy.
I think
Go ahead.
that I was planning on it. I think that this feud has limped along long enough. Ricky Starks has gotten a win over Jericho. Jericho's gotten a win over Ricky Starks. And then Jericho basically made Ricky Starks jump through hoops to get to Jericho at Revolution. So, I think that this has kind of limped along the last couple months. I think that both guys are ready to kind of do something a bit different. So, yeah, I'm with Poot. I'm really feeling the winds of change here. I think that what differentiates this year's Revolutions from many other years is the dependence on their own stars, building their own younger stars. And if you don't think that Ricky Starks is part of that future, you're crazy. So give me Ricky Starks 2 points. I'm with Tom. I'm kind of hedging my bets on this one, just because things could go sideways. John Moxley takes on the Hangman, Adam Page, in a Texas death match. Now, last time I don't know that they've ever called it Texas Death Match. I think they've just called it Texas Death.
We got to leave the match out of there.
Last time, we had a death match. It didn't go as well as I think everybody wanted it to.
Pew. You think?
I think that they're gonna make up for it this time. Yeah. So, Tom, who do you got on this one? Hangman, Moxley.
Wait, isn't Hold on, you started.
I
Poot.
did. Yeah. Huh.
So wouldn't it be
Oh yeah.
Ransom?
So This is why I like having you around. Go ahead,
Thank
Ransom.
Oh, hell. I don't know. AEW's a toss-up for me. Kenny Omega, was it Kenny Omega and Moxley for the first one?
Yeah. Yeah. He it was Omega Moxley in the barbed wire exploding ring death match.
And Kenny Omega won that one, right?
He did.
Okay. I don't know why, but I'm going to put my points on Mr. John Moxley. And hell, let's go big or go home. I'm going to say a sixer.
Now, Tom, what do you think?
Again, another toss-up one for me. I don't know. I could see him getting weird and giving Hangman the win, but I don't know. My gut says Moxley, but I'm only putting 2 points on it.
Tom, please. I I like the Hangman here. I think that they have a lot of work to do with Adam Page. I think that he's fallen quite a bit from grace. So I think they need to work on rebuilding him because I think that he was always going to be the guy. And if they want him to be the guy again, they need to start building him up to be the guy. And you do that by have him beating the first AEW wrestler to 100 wins. Moxley has been their centerpiece, no doubt. And he's been very, very, very thoroughly protected. But all that I think that it's time that he uses some of that clout to get somebody else over. So yeah, give me Hangman. Tom and I have swapped our 1 and 2 pointers here because I'm putting 1 point on the Hangman. So that's where I'm falling. Poot.
Beef, you said it. Like, for me and for my money, again, following the trend and knowing that they have to rebuild Hangman because, like, his run was rough. Like, he kind of wore out his welcome. I think this is going to be a really, really, really good way to show that they have faith in Hangman and a good way to build him up, especially coming out of the gate sprinting, beating Moxley in a death match. Hell yeah. I'm going to give my 2 points to Hangman Adam Page.
Poot, you also need to stop picking different than me. Come on.
Even if they...
Dude, I don't mean to. Like, I'm sitting here looking at the card going, that's my pick. Like, well, I'm sorry, dude.
Honestly, I could see it going down where, where Moxley gets the win and tries to, like maybe shake his hand or something afterwards, and then fucking Hangman just goes, fucking ballistic and kind of heals up on him. So I could see them shifting Hangman into a fucking heel role, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I think they have plenty of top level heels. I think if anything, they're missing top level faces. So. And who knows? Maybe Hangman might be that guy, to beat MJF in the future. But it's gonna take some time for sure.
Yeah.
Moving right along, we have the Elite defending their trios titles against the House of Black. Not a ton of build up here. There was some jiggery pokery, as Poot likes to say. With them kind of leading up here. And then last night on Dynamite, there was some physicality where the Elite came out, and during their entrance, there was a blackout. And during the blackout, they were beaten up, and the House of Black took their titles and then left their titles laying backstage after a promo. So, yeah, that's where we stand with this. Tom, now it is your pick.
Yeah, this is another one where I don't know. I feel like I would love to see the House of Black get these trios titles, but I got to pick with my brain and not with my heart. And I feel like that there's something bigger on the horizon for the Elite with the trios titles. I know we've talked about the possibility of like a FTR and Punk sort of thing, and that's all speculative. And if they decide to bring Punk back, and I hold on to your seat here, Beef, because I'm willing to admit, as much as I've said that I could care less about Punk coming back, like whatever, I've really had time to reflect on it, and for regardless of people's personal feelings for him, he does business. So I could see Beef's Wet Dream trios collaboration in the future, but for now that means the Elite has to hang on to those titles. So I'm gonna pick the Elite, and I'm gonna put 5 points on it. No, I already put 5 on Jungle Boy. I'll put 4 points on the Elite.
Carry on my wayward son. Yeah, man. Give me the Elite all day. I think House of Black's a good matchup for them. I think that this is going to be a tremendous match. But it's in San Francisco, so like the Elite aren't going to lose in California. That's just first and foremost. But yeah, like you mentioned, Tom, I think that there's absolutely some shit happening. My Mark sense is starting to tingle. I like just the way that Punk's starting to post on social media a little bit more. Just the way how flippant Dax and Cash have been about stuff. They're definitely pushing the boundaries of kayfabe here, which I'm cool with. So I think at the end of the day, I think that the biggest red herring for me is Kenny Omega. Well, not a red herring, but the biggest thing to me is Kenny Omega talking about the situation. That's the first time that anybody's really kind of talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that tells me that, yeah, something's percolating here. So that being said, I think the Elites will eventually lose those titles to CM, FTR. But so that being said, they have to beat the House of Black. Ergo, I am picking the Elite for 7 points. Poot.
Law Elite wins 8 points.
Damn. Well, I thought I was.
Nope, that's my big daddy.
I thought I was solid.
That's my big daddy. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. I haven't won that belt in almost 2 years, so fuck it. I really want House of Black to win. I want them to do something big. I want them to be a force. I want them to be feared. I want them to be that. But this is not the time nor the place. So, and plus, honestly, I would give just about anything to see the Elite versus CMFTR. So there you go.
Ransom?
Have I used my 5-pointer?
You have on Chris Jericho.
So I used 5, 6, and 7?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're going to do 4-pointer on the team who at the go-home show was not holding the belts above their head. Have we talked about that before? Like,
oh yeah, if you get laid out, yeah, that's the other.
Yeah, like you hold up somebody else's belts at the go-home show. You're not winning.
You stand
Last
tall.
laugh rule.
Stand tall, gonna fall.
To be fair, they did drop the titles immediately after they held them up. So,
they still held them up.
It's true.
So I'm gonna go ahead and put my prediction on. LOL, the Elite win for 4 points as they celebrate, as they're wont to do. Mr. Punk comes back at this pay-per-view.
Be a good time for it, man.
Setting them up. Let's do it.
It would be a big time for it, and like I think, just the way that the winds are blowing right now, I think that a big Punk return at Revolution would be huge for them, especially if everybody's on the same page and everybody was kind of able to put things aside and are willing to do business as long as everybody's in good shape and on board with it. I think it's the right decision. Absolutely. The tag team title match will consist of the Guns defending those titles that they won 3 weeks ago against the Acclaimed, the former champions. Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, and Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. And again, this is my absolute disappointment. I just there's so many great teams in AEW, so many great teams, and you have Jarrett and Lethal, and I know God love Jay Lethal, he's great, but Jeff Jarrett's an old man, the man who broke 1,000 guitars and never drew a dime.
Oh.
And Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. Not that I have any problem with either of those two acts. They are over as fuck. But A, they are not a tag team. And B, I don't put their talent anywhere close to that of Claudio and Wheeler Yuta, or Penta and Phoenix, or Aussie Open, or FTR.
Who's Aussie Open?
They're the I don't know their names, but they're the tag team from New Japan that runs with Will Ospreay.
Yeah, they're
pretty
great.
fucking good in the ring. They're a couple beefy dudes that can really work.
Cool.
There are a lot of really great tag teams that this could be featuring, and it's not featuring any of them except for the Acclaimed. And the Acclaimed aren't even that good in the ring. They're just great on the stick. So I don't know. I get it. Again, we've kind of talked about this being the line in the sand where they're evolving talent and pushing new talent. But sometimes it's okay not to remake the wheel. Sometimes if you have something in front of you, even if it's not homegrown, but it's still pretty good, it's okay to go with that. So that's my diatribe about this match. I'm up first. I'm picking the Acclaimed because this is the only reason I can think of that they took the belts off of them in the first place, so that they can wing them back on pay-per-view in front of 40,000 people, 30,000 people, whatever's going to be there in the Chase Center on Sunday. Again, the list of two-time champions are very low right now. So I think that the Acclaimed being one of the groups that's a two-time tag team champion is a nice thing to say about them. So I got the Acclaimed, 3 points, and now I'm going to listen to Poot. Poot?
Ah, yes, very good. Poothausen here.
Damn it.
So, damn it, he says.
Puppet.
I agree with you 100%, but I understand the Acclaimed are basically the Street Profits if you bought them at 5 and below. I get it, but
wow.
Fight me, fuck it. The Street Profits are way better. Fight me. They have just as much charisma. They are way better in the ring together. I mean, I'm sorry. Very rarely will I do that. You're not saying anything untrue. I'm just that's a pretty hot take. That's pretty hot take. Fight me. Anthony Bowens, Max Caster, no disrespect to you, but I get it. The Acclaimed are here. Scissor me daddy ass. The whole thing. I get it. But I get it. But for my money,
there it is.
By the way,
Scissor me daddy ass.
Scissor me daddy ass. By the way, that noise has left my lexicon, man. I'm a lot chiller now. I'm legit. It's great. I haven't in a long time. But I'll be so sad. Don't worry, I'll bust it out for giggles. But
Good.
but for my money here, and for me being weird, this is my goofball pick. 1 point.
Don't do it.
Orange Cassidy and Danhausen, baby.
Damn it.
It's gonna be fucking funny, and it's gonna create a lot of goofball shit. Just imagine. Sure, they're not a tag team, but stick with me here. They are both super fucking over and entertaining. You put them against actual legitimate tag teams like the Guns, like the Acclaim. Hell, fuck it. Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Just imagine a program, Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, Orange Cassidy, Danhausen, 4 belts. Just fucking imagine the hilarity. It's fucking, it writes itself. I think it would behoove them, it would be interesting, and it would get the fans hyped. If Danhausen was the one to actually get the pin to win those belts, it would be fucking gangbusters. The roof would come off that place. It would be amazing. It would. So this is the one that I'm picking. That's the goofball, oddball, crossing my fingers kind of thing. My 1 point, Orange Cassidy, Danhausen.
All right. Ransom?
All right, Poot, you want to get weird with it?
Let's get fucking weird, buddy.
Don't fucking do it.
All right, here we go.
Do it. Let's get weird.
I'm going to get a little weirder /
What was that?
This shit anyway. So why not get like real harebrained? And I'm ready for Beef to be like, nope, not going to happen. Never going to happen. Not in a million years. Could never happen. Won't never happen. You're dumb. What a stupid pick. But I'm going to put 1 point on Danhausen and Orange Cassidy getting the crap beat out of them before the match, and FTR getting inserted into this match. FTR for the win.
Whoa! All right. That's just harebrained enough that I fucking love it.
I mean, it's never going to happen, but you know what? I'm so far out of the running that I might not even beat Pat. So screw it. I might as well put a 1-pointer on a wackadoo pick.
Listen, if he gets this wackadoo pick correct, I say he wins the belt.
That's a bold prediction. I'm not on board with that because that would completely wither away any credibility this belt has. But I like the pick. I like that Ransom's going outside the box.
It would wither away credibility to have FTR win it?
No.
He's talking about
the cruiserweight belt, not the AEW belt. Okay. No, absolutely.
I was going to say, good Lord, what? Did you turn all of a sudden on FTR?
No, not at all. Not at all. I'd absolutely be here for it, and I think that'd be, especially the way that they're working everything. I think that'd be wonderful. Tom,
just imagine really quick, if this match happens, that does happen, and then after the trios belt, they come out with Punk, and then they beat, down the road. They walk away. They have both sets of tag belts.
Trey Magnifique.
So, unfortunately, if Ransom's scenario happened, we would end up throwing out this match anyways because different participants. We've done that before.
Not gonna happen.
But
you had your goofy ass bets. If FTR winds up in this match taking the place of somebody, I've called FTR, so that match does not get thrown out.
In any case, that's not going to happen.
You don't make the rules here.
That scenario is not going to happen. Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, I don't know why they're in this match anyways, but that's not going to happen. Point. That's not going to happen. And Beef is finally going to get his wish. Because I am going to pick different than him.
Shit.
I'm sticking with the guns. I'm only putting 3 points on it. Because I'm treading carefully on that. But they just got these titles put on them, and if we're talking about the winds of change and building up these new stars like Ricky Starks and fucking Jungle Boy, giving Hangman a chance to start building him up, then we got to start building up the guns too. And if you think about it, for as talented as they are, they haven't had a whole lot of TV matches. If you really, really think about it. So for them to go out and show the ability that they do in the ring, it's kind of almost, I would, compare it to like the Logan Paul effect. Like, obviously, this is literally in their blood. I mean, they're bred for this. This is what they are meant to do. They are meant to be professional wrestlers. They're a damn good tag team. So I'm sticking with the guns. 3 points. And since my daddy.
I love how serious Tom is about winning this belt.
We are a full house divided.
He's in it.
We are a full house divided. Beef is the responsible father making a very sound pick. Ransom is the drunk uncle passed out in the pool on a floaty.
True.
Making that pick. I'm apparently like the edgelord son going, "You're not my dad." And Tom is like the mother going, "Well, I mean, it's possible that this could happen." And Beef just goes, "Shut up!" And backhands him.
He's a nihilist. He doesn't believe in anything.
Then I divorce him and take him for everything that he's worth.
We don't condone spousal violence. Yeah, man, that's
not one bit.
That I thought Ransom was gonna pick Jarrett and Lethal, and I was like, "Holy crap!"
That's what I thought he was gonna do too. And I was like, "Don't do it! Don't fucking do it!" Like I was waiting for it. I'm just like,
none of us picked those two. Watch them win.
Yeah. Well, Jeff Jarrett's
watch them give Jarrett his one AEW title reign and watch it be the tag belts.
Watch fucking Amber pick them, and then then the people to take it off of Lethal and Jarrett are fucking Sting and Darby.
Right. Well, that would actually make some sense. Which, by the way, where the fuck's Darby? Moving right along.
Doing skating things.
Samoa Joe defends the TNT title against Wardlow. Straight up singles match. The King of Television. I am going to let Poot pick before I talk too much. Poot, what do you think?
Oh.
Fucking wackadoo. The
one time he decides
he does this to me all the time, because even though he's buried behind 900 other people, he's like, "Well, Poot's still ahead of me. I better shut my mouth." Anyway,
he said, I didn't math this one out, but as we've been going along, I'm mathing it out.
It's all right, whatever. I don't care. I'm gonna make this real simple, real straightforward.
Eyebrows,
I'm gonna put my 5 on Wardlow.
Ooh.
I'm going to put my 5 on Wardlow.
Baby.
I like the idea. If we're going to do this and we're going to make things interesting, not taking anything away from Joe, I love Joe, but I think giving Wardlow a belt and putting him over there in, I think putting it back on him, letting Joe go over to Raw and do his thing. I think that would behoove having Wardlow do that. Let Wardlow carry it. Get him back in the running. Get him back to that heat that he had whenever he was doing the MJF feud. Get him up there. Homegrown stars. Nothing against Samoa Joe. I love Samoa Joey, and I wouldn't be sad if he didn't win, or if he won. I wouldn't be sad losing these points because I love Joe. But I really think it's going to be Wardlow.
Ransom?
Do I have a 3-pointer? Ow, my hip.
You do, in fact.
All right.
Did you just give birth? Like, what the fuck just happened?
I was a sheep giving birth, just standing there in 1 minute, just there it is. I'm watching too much of Clarkson's Farm lately. Oh, booty doo doo. I want to say Wardlow. Like, I want Wardlow to win the belt, but I don't know. Part of me thinks it's going to be Joe. Part of me thinks it's Wardlow. Let's face it. I don't know what the fuck is happening here.
Full disclosure: Powerhouse Hobbs won the Face of the Revolution ladder match on Wednesday night, and he is facing the TNT title holder next Wednesday night.
Oh, fucking now full disclosure after I make my pick, right? Right, Beef? Right?
I'm sorry, Poot, would you like to change your pick?
No, I'm just saying.
It doesn't matter.
I want everything to be above board.
Go ahead, Ransom.
I was leaning towards Joe, and I think I'm gonna stick with my gut, even though it's usually wrong because it's usually too busy giving birth to dragons to worry about what is right or wrong. So I'm going to say Joe for 3.
Tiger Bomb?
I think I kind of messed up my points a little bit, but I'm still sticking with Wardlow. I'm going to put my 6 points on it. I feel like they, he had the time off. If anybody has listen to any interviews and stuff that he's done, and how, you know, the story that they're telling, really drawing from his real life stuff going on, and what it meant to him whenever, you know, Joe cut his hair and everything like that. They gotta get him back on the track and give him the belt that he technically never lost. So Wardlow for sure. 6 points.
I love the King of Television gimmick. I think it's a great gimmick. And it only works if you're both TV champions. You know, Joe's done an incredible job, but I do think with Ring of Honor taping starting now, I think that they're going to start differentiating those rosters a little bit, which means we may start seeing less of Joe, less of Wheeler, less of Cesaro. Nope, Claudio. Which is disappointing, but also I think a necessary evil. So all that being said, I do think Wardlow wins this one. I think that he, you know, is due a decent TV title reign. And if we're being honest, I still think that he should be the guy to beat MJF, you know, within the next 6 months or so. So I think that a nice long TV title run would prime him up nicely. So I'm taking Wardlow. I'm taking 5 points on that one. The women's title is being defended by Jamie Hayter against Saraya and Ruby Soho. This is a triple threat match. I'm sorry, a three-way match, excuse me. Which I believe is one fall to a finish. I don't know how AEW treats so yeah, that's the match here.
What was that gap for? Was that just like rest in peace to Tom's stomach?
It was, yeah, just letting it breathe for a minute.
Enjoying the bouquet.
Yeah. So Ransom gets to pick here. And,
I don't know. I don't know anything. Just
fucking like that was like someone coming to him and going like, "Hey man, look, you can either like drink battery acid or you can like kick a small child in the face as hard as you can. Which would you do?" It was just
small child easily.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
I forgot who I'm dealing with. Anyway,
yeah. Not my kid. I don't care about your kid.
Jesus.
Yeah. In the words of Brock Lesnar, I don't give a shit about your kids.
I mean, like, is it really that far of a stretch? I beat up cats in my spare time. Is it that far of a stretch?
Call back. Call back.
Freaking do it. That's the whole reason why Beef won't have the Revolution pay-per-view at his house. He's worried I'm going to show up fisticuffing with his cat.
Ransom comes in and
you know what? Parking lot, you know, old English, you know, big brawly man style.
Both of you have big mustaches.
He's beating up cats. He's trying to shoot my fucking snake, you know, but he doesn't even know where I live. So I mean, it doesn't matter. So it's all conjecture.
Before. I've stood outside of it and weed in your yard. Listen, Saraya has no business winning this title. If she wins, screw AEW and everything about it, because stop it. Go away. I'm so over her. I'm more over her than I am over Bray Wyatt. Like, get out.
Fuck.
Yeah, you have no business. Like, just go away. She's got X-Pac heat with me. She's got go away heat. I don't want to see her.
Yeah, it's not X-Pac heat anymore. It is go away heat.
Yeah, go away heat. Just go. Hate you so much.
We'll just call it Saraya heat.
I want to do a 2-pointer, and I'm going to put it where I want to see it, not necessarily where I think it might wind up. So I'm going to put 2 points on Lady Ruby Soho. I want her to have it. I don't think it's going to happen, but I want her to have it.
Timothy?
Oh, Ransom, you sweet summer child. I'm with you in the fact that I want to see Ruby Soho win. I feel like that, unfortunately, injury has been her biggest setback in why she hasn't been completely pushed forward with a rocket strapped to her back and sent straight to the moon. But in this case, I feel like there's still bigger and better things for Jamie Hayter. And honestly, the way the other championship title matches are going, I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of title changes in this pay-per-view event. So I'm going to put my 7 points on Jamie Hayter to retain.
I think that Saraya does. I think that Saraya does have a place here. I'm very worried about some of these folks that came over. Some of these quote unquote big names like her and Jeff Jarrett that like book something into their contract about winning titles. Which is shitty, but like there's definitely precedent for it before. I don't want that to happen here. I am all for it. I think that she's doing a really good job as a heel. I just think that she needs to get some of that, rust worked off. And right now, I've said it as I fucking decried this from the mountaintop as long as I can, man. Jamie Hayter is absolutely one of the top 3 women in the world right now, at least in the North America, along with Rhea Ripley and Toni Storm. So, Jamie Hayter is just on a different level right now. I think that taking the title away from her right now would be silly and dumb. I think that eventually we're probably going to get a Britt Baker feud. I'm hoping before we do that we get a Toni Storm feud, and that we get a great match out of that. But here we are. I would love to see Ruby win. Absolutely. I just don't think it's her time yet. So I think that some shit's going to go down. But I think at the end of the day, I think Jamie Hayter walked out with that belt and the win. I'm taking Jamie Hayter 6 points. Poot?
Man. Oh. See, like all this, I thought this was like, since we're not seeing a lot of title changes on this, I figured this was going to be the one where we were going to see a change. Now, don't call me a hater. I like Jamie. But
Damn it,
I was sitting here and I'm going, I could totally see them putting the belt on for a little bit. I could see them putting it on Saraya. I could.
Oh.
I really could. I could see it happening. Give her a little bit of a program. And then, like, pass it off to someone else and then pass it back to Jamie Hayter. And then have a program with Britt Baker or do whatever. Like, I can see it happening.
So much passing around.
Like,
I mean, that's what Saraya's known for.
Damn it, Beef. You beat me to it.
I don't know if we will. Do we want to put a belt in her hands? Because we know what happens to it.
So much.
Well, not Jizz.
Can we make that a shirt? Pittsburgh Pile Driver Podcast on the back. Not jizz.
We cannot.
Oh,
yes, we can.
That one would be 69.69. You idiots.
Oh, dear me,
man, I got weird with the tag match. I gotta kind of lean into it here. I'm gonna go with my 3 point. I'm gonna go with Jamie Hayter because as Beef said, taking the belt off her now would be foolish, and I think the Britt Baker feud is all the cash money in the universe. So I'm gonna stick with Jamie Hayter for 3.
Are you auditioning for a Cadbury cream egg commercial, Ransom? What was that
noise? Fuck. No, his is just fuck.
He's not the Tourette's guy.
It's kind of rude.
Nobody knows wrestling like Ransom.
I need someone to help me make popcorn.
It's not at all true.
I just want to give, as is my want, I want to give some fucking props to the Motor City Machine Guns, man. They've been kicking ass for fucking like 25 years, and they're still putting on incredible fucking matches.
Dude,
as they just fucking lost the belts, damn it.
Have they really? Yeah. Have the Motor City Machine Guns really been wrestling that long?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
like
fuck.
they've been Yeah, early aughts.
Oh no. The Motor City Machine Guns took Ransom along and fucking just snuffed him.
He's just no.
There it is.
But yeah, man, fucking props to the Machine Guns, man. Hope that they continue to kick ass. All right, so here we are.
Sorry. No, I was just to add to that beef. I know we usually don't really talk about Impact. We don't pick Impact, mostly because, like, I don't even know how the fuck you watch them if you don't have access. I don't know if there's any other way to watch them. But for all intents and purposes, from what I've been hearing, they've been putting on some banger programs lately. So if you have the ability to watch them,
they're a fucking sleeper, buddy. They're a sleeper.
Yeah, man. Also, one of my favorite parts about WrestleMania weekend is all the shit that happens like ancillary to WrestleMania.
Yep.
Yeah.
So far, the Impact versus New Japan like Worlds Collide card is amazing, and I already can't fucking wait. I think that's Friday night, I believe. So yeah, man, I'm pretty fucking hyped for it.
I mean, like, this is something I personally have never seen before, but like in the knockout women's title match, I think it was Mickie James. She's still doing her like last rodeo thing. So like if she loses, she's gonna retire. But she's the current. She beat Jordan Grace last pay-per-view. Well, not pay-per-view before last for the title, and she defended against I think her name is Masha Slamovich.
Yeah, man, Masha Slamovich. She's the hotness right now.
Yeah, so fucking Masha did something where like she was like sticking out her tongue at her or whatever, like taunting her. Fucking Mickie like bites her fucking tongue. I'm like, I have never fucking seen something like that happening, especially in a women's match. So fuck it, just holy shit. Like
Masha's.
How long was I disconnected from the Discord? Did we pick the final AEW pick?
No.
I was.
We had a non sequitur.
I was just giving Motor City Machine Guns their flowers.
It's like, you know, and shiny object.
It just happened to be on my background. So, but yes,
I should be on your background.
Fair enough. Masha Slamovich is awesome. If you haven't seen her wrestle, you should do that.
I have not.
But yeah, main event time, 60-minute Iron Man match. We know how that works. MJF defends against Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, Amdrag himself. He
What's that?
He dropped the big F-bomb on Wednesday night. That was exciting. And they of course bleeped it, but you know, he told MJF he was gonna get his fucking head kicked in.
Oh my!
So and like MJF did the classic heel like, oh my god, I'm shitting my pants face. It's gonna be just a banger of a match, man. So like a lot of times Iron Man matches are absolutely one match cards, and I think that that's a differentiation here. I think that there are tons of great matches here, but I think that this match is going to be incredible. We are leading off with, I believe, Tom here.
Are we?
So yeah, we are.
In your face.
And Tom, this would be your 8-pointer, so tread lightly.
That's fine. It's gonna be no question. I mean, I don't. There's nothing else to say. MJF 8 points. Go ahead, Beef.
All right. So I've said before that if they're gonna make a change, I think that this is the time. Like if they're gonna be like counter what they've been in the past, this is almost the time to do it. Like everybody absolutely knows that MJF is winning this match, right? Well, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, how many more years does Amdrag have left? How many top feuds does Danielson have left in him? Like, yes, I know we discussed how this should be a big, long, stupid reign, but like MJF has done such a great job of being so like weaselly and so like snively and just the biggest chicken shit heel in the world. It would be almost apropos for him to lose his first big defense on pay-per-view. And if there's a guy who he can lose to that's going to be more believable than Bryan Danielson, I don't believe it. Like losing to Bryan Danielson in a Iron Man match would be understandable, I guess would be a good way to put it. So like I don't think it's open and shut. But it is kind of open and shut. I'm taking MJF 8 points.
After all of that,
I picked Sammy in Elimination Chamber because I thought that maybe there was a chance. I do think there's a chance here, but I don't think it's a very good one.
To further this pick for both you and I, it honestly, like if you're talking about building up Hangman and stuff like that, and building him up as a good babyface, as somebody who's going to be the guy, then you need a credible heel, and there's no better heel than MJF right now. So I mean, it's got to stay that way because you have so many outs with that. You have Hangman, you have the Wardlow thing. You could circle back around to Danielson again. Once the Elite drop the trios titles, you could have Kenny go after MJF. So I mean, and let's not forget about Ricky Starks too. So I mean, there's some good baby faces on the horizon.
Not forget about all those people in freaking Impact and MLW and whatever the fuck other promotions you guys were talking about earlier.
They the one name you're missing is Adam Cole.
Baby,
returning. Yeah. Who's returning later on this month. So right. I think that Adam Cole is going to be MJF's Double or Nothing matchup. So and then like we might see a change. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here. This is all very new and fresh. I just feel like it's too soon with MJF. But at the same, and again, like I'm not trying to sway votes here. I'm just saying, like, if there was ever a time that AEW was gonna buck, the long-term booking, I think that this would be a great time for it because no one would see it coming.
Buckshot.
Buck the Chuck.
Ransom? Nope. Poot?
Skip.
Censoring daddy ass.
Okay. Oh God. Listen, Amdrag would be awesome, but like you don't take the belt off MJF for a long, a few hours later, long time. It is 7 points MJF. I'm here for it, and keep it going. And it's gonna be tooth and fucking nail. It's going to be one of those things where he's going to like not even get the full arm over. It's just his hand on like Amdrag's chest. And it's just the ref is tired too. And you hear bam, bam, bam. And like they're laying there bloody and tired and beaten. And it's going to be fantastic. Fantastic. I can already chef's kiss, but it's MJF. That's my 7-pointer, baby.
Ransom, take us home.
I'm gonna get wild with this one. Everybody ready? I'm gonna put 8 points on CM. Nope, it's gonna be fucking MJF.
I'm sorry, you cut out there, Ransom. What was your actual pick?
MJF.
Okay.
All the points.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think that makes sense, right? Like, and I think that everybody can agree. But
yes,
at the same time, I do kind of think
this is me beefy ass
that he lost a little bit of steam. MJF has
really
a little bit, and I think that him like losing the title would only intensify the whole bidding war of 2024 thing. Only for him to like weasel his way back into the title picture later on this year, and then like win the title as the clock strikes 12 on his contract, and nobody really knows what's going to happen with MJF.
So I feel like they could do more of the more of kind of punk-esque style, like, you know, I mean, not saying that he'll hold it till 2024, but if he does, I'm here for it. And having the whole, you know, I have the title and maybe I'll take it and go wherever the fuck else with it, you know, take the AEW title and run. But either way, I'm here for a long-term MJF title reign, one way or the other.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, like I said, we've talked about that, and that's been, you know, kind of like the plan. But again, in excuse me, in my opinion, I don't think that it would do much hurt for him to lose this match. And again, Danielson, I think, absolutely deserves this title. Before all is said and done, Danielson should be AEW champion. But the problem is that, you know, like we talked about, they do have a lot of young guys that are going to be, you know, ready for that title sooner than later. And they have a lot of guys that are on the roster that deserve that title, i.e. Adam Cole. Like, if they don't capitalize on Adam Cole, I don't know what to think anymore.
I got a hot take for you.
Go on.
I like to see Amdrag as the TV TNT title champion.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I could see him, you know, issuing open challenges and basically literally and figuratively putting on fucking clinics every week, like almost a la Timothy Thatcher style sort of thing, but, you know, not as dickish.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I get that, you know, along the lines of what we've seen Cena and Cody Rhodes do with the mid-card titles. Absolutely, that'd be great. But I don't know, man. Like, there are so many people that I think that should be AEW champion that may not be because of just how things are going to fall. Contracts and, you know, people getting older and things like that. So, regardless, Ransom asked me at the beginning of the show what my temperature was, because I was very kind of like tepid with it last week. It's rapidly increasing. The more I look at the card, you know, Cage versus Jungle Boy in a no holds barred match is going to be, I think, pretty fun. Jericho and Starks is going to be good. Moxley versus Hangman is going to be a fucking war. You know, the Elite versus the House of Black is going to be good, if not great. Samoa Joe versus Wardlow could be a fun, you know, big heavy guys hitting, big meaty men slapping meat. The women's title match, I think, will be serviceable, if not pretty good. And then, yeah, I mean, this match is going to be a 60-man Iron Man match, a 60-minute Iron Man match. Usually, those matches are pretty good. So I think that this one's going to be worth it. It's not as, I don't think it's as good as last year's Revolution or the year before. I just think it'll be different. And that's not a bad.
If this is AEW's middle of the road pay-per-view, like ad infinitum, I'm okay with it, because middle of the road for AEW is still really fucking entertaining.
Right, and that's, I think, is what I think a lot of people like lose with AEW. Like, yeah, like they're not bringing in big fucking signings anymore every week, and that's okay. And yeah, like they may not be in the spotlight every single week, and that's okay. They're still putting on absolute fucking clinics in the ring. They still put on the best weekly show, and they still put on the best pay-per-views. So yeah, I mean, bang for your buck. I absolutely think that this is going to be a show worth seeing.
Well, I mean, like, when it comes to the bringing in new people, you know, I think from the get-go we should have expected that to only last a finite amount of time, because there's only so many people who are going to be jumping ship from, you know, WWE to AEW. And once the big ones have jumped, there's not really a whole lot left to, I don't know, kind of like expect or look forward to. You know, like it's we've had the big debuts, we've had the big surprises, Now it's more along the lines of caliber and quality of matches, as opposed to, okay, match is over, is something going to happen? Or pay-per-view's over, is something going to happen? You know, like that can only have lasted for so long until I think people's expectations should be, okay, they can't do that anymore. Because there's just nobody left.
Well, I mean, there are. You know, Jay White is out there. Mercedes Moné's out there. Will Ospreay. You know, all of these people absolutely could, you know, still come out and make a big push in AEW. But I think more importantly, they need to look at the roster and go, okay, like when we see guys like Lance Archer not being used for months at a time, and yes, I realized he was in Japan for a long time, working with the G1, which is great. And like FTR, you know, rarely being used on TV, and you know,
like,
women.
Why aren't they on TV?
I think that this initially, excuse me, has turned into a little bit of an angle for them. I think that they're absolutely kind of like working the crowd. In fact, yeah, and like voicing their displeasure. Like the picture that Dax posted with the WWE contract in it, and like who was it on the Elimination Chamber? Oh, it was Edge and Beth that did the Shatter Machine. Yep. You know, it wouldn't shock me if they're like, hey, if they put a call on the Triple H and they're like, hey, can you have, you know, 2 people do this so that we can kind of build this angle? You know, I'm sure, because, you know, it's not like he's like promoting AEW,
right?
But like it's a little like wink and a nudge, like, oh, you know. So sorry about my voice. I at this point I gotta believe it's part of an angle. It's part of the we're not happy thing, which is gonna lead to the return of Punk, I think. But like Keith Lee, you know, is a guy that just came back from a pretty decent leave, and so I mean they definitely have some stuff to sort through, and again they're they just did the first Ring of Honor taping here, I think last week. So like they're definitely, you know, like for example, Eddie Kingston after Dynamite said I quit AEW and just walked out the door. Likely going to turn up on Ring of Honor. Kind of a wink and a nudge, but you know, like they're going to be diversifying their roster a little bit. So I think at the end of the day, they have to figure out who's where and who's going to be best suited where. And like they just don't have room for like these big debuts anymore, I don't think. But like Ransom said, absolutely, the focus should be on, hey, how can we now that we have the pieces in place, let's make sure that we're doing everything we can with them.
I'm so happy. I'm just so happy that we get to have these conversations about fucking awesome wrestling on both sides of the fence. Speaking of fucking awesome things, do we have any questions for Stump the Chumps from that doof?
Yeah.
From that
do we want to jump to that already, or do we want to do some more wrestling talk? Because
let's do some chit chat. Or we could do Stump the Chumps and then chit chat. I mean, nothing says that we can do Stump the Chumps at the end. Whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah, we'll see where we end up here. I think we do have the Maniac's question. Let me get back to it here. Sorry, email is tough sometimes. Oh yeah, so we do have something from Pat. Oh, calling me out. Pat is literally calling his shot here. He's literally pulling a Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh.
Here's a WrestleMania one for Beef. Not counting Iron Man matches, which match has the longest duration in WrestleMania history?
Pat?
Wow.
Interesting. I think it's got to be recent.
I would say Michael's Taker. What do you think about Michael's Taker?
Which one? One or two?
The retirement match.
Okay. I think that Triple H and Undertaker in the Hell in a Cell was probably a good pick as well.
What about
that match going for going
had to have
Broadway?
gone for a minute.
what about Macho and
That was
Steamboat?
was like 20-25 minutes.
Steamy.
That's it? Really? That's it?
Yeah. It didn't go long. The other one that sticks in my mind for whatever reason, was Roman, Edge, and Daniel Bryan from 36, 7, couple years ago, whatever. I know it wasn't like, I don't know, like I just feel like that match, but yeah, I mean, compared to Taker versus Michaels and Taker versus Triple H, I feel like those two matches probably went longer. Trying to think if there's anything else that like
Big,
what about
boo, boo.
maybe one of the TLCs.
You said, well, I don't. What about Edge Orton? Like the one from the one from
Mania?
Yeah, during the COVID Mania, because I specifically remember
the greatest match of all time.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I specifically
Shut up,
remember
you.
sitting down at your place, Beef, watching that fucking monstrosity and being like, when is this going to end? I specifically
just keeps
remember
going.
that. Now maybe that was because it was such a fucking doofy thing.
Now, Edge versus Orton in the greatest match ever, that wasn't a WrestleMania, was it?
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
I think that was like Backlash or something.
No, what was their, wait, didn't they have, wasn't that, wait, no, the one, they had the greatest match ever at Backlash, but didn't they have a match at Mania? That wasn't that the one that finished on top, it finished on top of that trailer or whatever the fuck?
Yeah, they may have, but that wasn't like super long, I don't think.
I bet it was.
I remember watching that and being like, fuck, this is like, and I think of it like, cause it just like kept going and going and going and going. And I remember being like, this is getting fucking long in the tooth. I remember that, but it's like, I don't know, that one popped into my head, but still the problem is my brain is screaming at me Michaels and Hart in the Iron Man match, but the problem is we've already had the caveat.
The Iron Man.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, not the Iron Man.
So there's that. What about Hell in the Cell with Shane McMahon and The Undertaker?
Stop it.
Oh God. Anyway.
I do think that it's probably either Michaels Taker or Michaels HHH. It's just a matter of which one. Sting versus Triple H wouldn't shock me either. That seemed like it went on a bit.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know about that one.
I mean, it was booked well, but like it just felt kind of long.
Sting and H was booked well?
Oh, I loved it, man. Like as a 90s kid who grew up watching the Monday Night War, it was everything I wanted. Minus Triple H winning, of course, but I mean, we weren't going to let Sting beat Triple H. Money in the Bank matches, maybe.
This is rough.
Yeah, I'm just because like it stands to reason that Triple H and Undertaker or Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, but they were also they were also old men by the time that they competed in these matches. So like it's crazy to think that like all these young guys didn't go a little bit longer. I think TLC 1 went a long time, I think, too. Oh, hell. Ransom, what do you think? You're usually pretty good at reading stuff like this.
The Chicken Man. What?
What? All right, that's cool. You're right. The Gobbledygook Curse, sure, maybe.
Ransom's gone bye-bye, Egon. What do you got?
Oh God, he has.
Okay, so did we? I'm sorry. I was really trying to rack my brain.
This type of question is nowhere near my forte. I have no idea.
What about did we already say Austin Rock from WrestleMania 17? I was honestly like,
I don't think
So-
that.
No, but I don't think.
I don't remember that especially being.
Right.
I mean, the Four Faces of McMahon match would have went longer than that. The freaking
The four
that was-
faces of McMahon.
And
yeah,
that,
what was it? The
WrestleMania 2000?
Yeah.
Yeah, Big Show, Triple H,
Foley.
Rock, and Foley. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have went longer than the freaking
Um,
bloggity blooger blogger. Oh.
I think the Taker Michaels 2 or Taker versus Triple H 3 in Hell in a Cell. End of an era.
were there any I don't know. We were throwing out triple threat matches. Were there any fatal 4-way matches at WrestleManias?
I'm sorry.
Oh, lots.
I'm sorry. Can I point out that Ransom sounded like the Executioner from Men in Tights right there?
He
Yes,
sure
you
did.
can, and I accept it.
He sure did. Like that's what they've been doing. Is just cramming lots of wrestlers into less matches.
I don't know.
But like
Stupid wrestlers.
sometimes those come down to spot fest.
Okay. Who was it? Who was it that brought up Edge versus Orton? Wasn't that Poot?
It
Port.
was.
Port the board.
Yeah.
I just
That it seems fucking screwbally enough to be the right answer.
I think it was either Michaels Taker 2 or Taker Triple H 3. That's where my gut goes. And
Oh.
honestly, here is the problem: is that like those matches exist late enough into the WrestleMania cycle that sometimes they're in my blind spot because you start the WrestleMania season hot watching a bunch and then you kind of taper off and you sometimes miss some of the later manias.
What?
I bet-
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't that Edge Orton WrestleMania match? Wasn't that the fucking COVID mania?
Yes,
was.
It was the COVID mania because
Wasn't a
we
stupid
heard
performance.
we heard all their weird grunts and things and like Edge doing that like
Okay. Him going, "Sister me daddy ass." Nah, you know what? That seemed like as much as my everything that would tell me like something involving Shawn Michaels because he's the showstopper and he could put on
Best of all time.
yeah, exactly that. Like something makes me want to lean toward Poot mentioning that just because the fact that just the fact
I know
let
I've
me
done this
finish.
a bunch. I feel like
Somebody tell me who to vote for.
I feel like you're mistaking length for goodness.
Yes, my exes.
Your exes
like-
had length
The reason that
problem.
Edge versus Orton feels long is because it kind of droned on for a long time.
Because it was long.
No
The-
shit. That's what I'm Good Lord. Wow.
Fuck it. Edge versus Orton. Pat,
Oh,
this is
God.
not my answer, but I'm done arguing with these dummies.
Oh God, that was
Wow, hey,
fucking
now,
so
come
funny.
on. I don't have a boat in this this motion. Listen, okay? I don't-
My point
Hey.
is that Orton
Ransom.
versus I was gonna say Randy Orton versus Edge
Ew.
was kind of a plotter because it was only an okay match. Whereas Michaels and Taker and Triple H were really good matches. So they didn't feel like they were going on forever, even though they probably were.
Oh my! I'm sorry.
No,
I'm literally fucking crying over Ransom's delivery of because it was long.
Yeah. The reason it felt long is because it went on for a long time.
I would say that longer than the Edge Orton match was probably at most of the Money in the Bank's WrestleMania 31 ladder match. Those are probably all longer than the Edge Orton match. If I had to gamble. And you know what? Like, it's if you guys want to vote together and say Edge and Orton, it's 2 versus 1. I think that Poot was on to something.
Don't count at all.
Well, okay. If Ransom wants to get in your camp, it could be 3 versus 1.
Fucking God.
My point, I think Poot was onto something when he said HBK versus Taker 2.
But so here's the thing. At least from my perspective, okay, with Taker versus Michaels, or even in the case of Taker versus Edge, because that one was a lengthy match too. That, like, I wasn't. It was one of those. It didn't felt like it dragged onto me. I recognized that it was an amazing match, but I still knew that it went on for a long time, and it wasn't a feeling of, oh, this is dragging on. It was fight forever, please fight forever. Same thing with the Michaels and Taker matches, but I think as much as I want to lean towards those, I feel like Pat is really trying to trip you up because he knows that Beef touts himself as, you know, not only the wrestling historian of the podcast, but like the WrestleMania historian of the podcast, and he really wants to stick it to you. I feel like he's trying to fucking trip you up, and I think he knows that you wouldn't see this one out of left field. I think he's really trying to trick you, and I think Poot's onto something.
Are you?
Yes, go on.
We lost you.
I heard was, are you?
I got nothing.
Okay.
I vote. Who said? Snitsky Kane.
Snitsky Kane for 2024. Vote him in. I say my vote is with Poot, Edge Orton.
The dissension in the ranks is palpable, and I don't appreciate my boy Beef being usurped like this.
It's fine.
Dead silence is also a good thing.
Because this is win-win for me.
Why?
Because if we lose, we're losing on their answer, not mine.
Fantastic. I don't care.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I mean, I'm all about the team here, but you know, I've also got an image to uphold.
Oh,
so
God.
I mean, if you guys want to say Orton Edge, fine, we'll do it. I just don't think it was longer than HBK versus Taker 2.
Now, if we win this one, we win.
Oh,
on
absolutely, absolutely. I'm taking credit for it.
Fuck you.
Absolutely, I'm taking credit for it.
I'm the WrestleMania guy.
Uh-huh.
All right, so
Absolutely, I'm taking credit for it.
Poot, am I right in assuming that you're voting with Tom with Edge versus Orton?
Yeah.
Taking the credit for it. You take all the credit you want. I'm taking your fucking title.
Ransom, you good with that?
I'm good with Snitsky Kane.
Okay. Well, here we go.
Here we go.
Hope you didn't need your buddies for this one. For I am 1 and you are 4. I was surprised to learn about this one, especially as the longest 3 years ago. Randy Orton versus Edge, WrestleMania 36. I stand corrected.
Suck
This is
my
egregious. I
fucking
can't believe
dick.
that it wasn't Kane and Snitsky.
I stand corrected.
Very upset.
You know, like I said, a lot of the newer ones are in my blind spot, so absolutely. But you know what? Like, even though it still feels like I lost, I didn't. Because I've learned.
Because Poot bailed you out.
Because I've learned.
Goofy bullshit's my wheelhouse, man.
I've learned.
I heard Beef answer this question, not Poot.
I've I've learned that whenever Poot and is like, hey, I got a feeling about this that I just need to get to shut up and go, you know what, Poot? You're probably right. So, at the end of the day, Pat, you may have stumped me, but you did not stump the champs. Ergo,
Oh, fancy.
you lose. And just like your hopes at the Cruiserweight title, you get nothing.
Suck it easy.
Porn.
Suck it easy, fuckhead.
It looks like that match was 36 minutes and 55 seconds. Taker versus Michaels was 24 minutes. So it was close.
But there's a point right there. To me, I had the same energy with Michaels Taker of going, please keep going, keep fighting, keep doing this. The storytelling's amazing. Every move had a purpose. Everything was awesome. With Orton, I just remember so vividly sitting there going, Jesus, but like on one hand, it was impressive that like Edge still had that kind of fire and fight in him. But like, it just made me go, fuck, like, when is this going to be done? They're doing all the gimmicky shit they can do. Like, I just remember it being like fucking obstinately long.
No.
Yeah, felt I do remember it like insisting upon itself. So I feel that. Speaking of insisting upon itself, I do want to mention the whole like Brock Lesnar Omos thing because
Can we not?
it's a hot button because there's a lot of tendrils to this. Initially people are like, well, fuck it, Vince is back, LOL, time to leave again, her. Which no, that's not the case. I mean, yeah, you know what, he probably had a conversation with Triple H. It was like, hey man, like, what are you doing with Omos? But like, at the end of the day, Triple H makes the decisions himself. But it also seems like Brock Lesnar played a part in this as well.
I think I heard this.
That he poo-pooed a lot of matches, including a match with Bray Wyatt.
Yep.
I'm not surprised because he wouldn't go along with the goofy bullshit. He would just he'd be like that guy who goes to the fucking haunted house and goes, you can see see him in the costume. Hey, I heard them talking backstage. He'd be that fucking guy during the whole thing. The whole fucking thing.
Well, and I think moreover, it's the Brock Lesnar thing because he is his most recent record at WrestleMania haven't been great. He's had a lot of L's. So, yeah, you could face Bray Wyatt and probably maybe lose again. Or you could face Omos and very likely win. You could face Bobby Lashley and probably lose again, or face Omos and very likely win.
Yep.
So I think that this is Brock Lesnar's kind of creative control here, kind of reaching a point where it's him saying, hey, I don't want to do this. But yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed in it, but I'm also willing to give it a shot.
I mean, I think if Bray Wyatt is going to continue to do Bray Wyatt-y things, there are certain wrestlers a la Brock Lesnar that you're not going to be able to do anything with. Because, Brock Lesnar's not going to be the guy that gets freaked out by Bray Wyatt and, his spooky, hooky, dooky, face painty, glow-in-the-dark bullshit. If Bray Wyatt is willing to have regular wrestling matches, okay, Brock Lesnar could face Bray Wyatt. But if it's always going to be the spooky dooky nonsense, no, Bray Wyatt can't face Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar's not going to be afraid of him. Brock Lesnar's not going to sell the, oh, no, what am I going to do? No. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it almost makes sense that Bray would face not Brock Lesnar at Mania. Like, I think the only person that could get away with that is The Undertaker.
I think the bigger point here is that Brock seemingly, worked his way out of several other matches as well.
Was there did they say who that was? Was there any sort of leak or news?
They didn't. Allegedly, the whole Lesnar versus Gunther thing was off the books by the time we heard about it.
Due to Lesnar?
No, due to just how things were moving along otherwise.
Okay.
Like allegedly,
that I would have expected Lesnar to go for. I would have expected Lesnar to go for like a match with Gunther, just because I don't know. That seems like it's up his wheelhouse.
Sure, and it absolutely is. It's weird that they gave us that tease in the Royal Rumble, because normally in the Royal Rumbles is when they start really booking WrestleMania. You get little face-offs, or maybe somebody eliminates somebody else, and that causes friction and this, that, and the other thing. So I'm shocked that they had the little standoff, and the audience ate it up, man. They were here for it, and yet they didn't. WWE didn't pull the trigger on it.
Does Gunther have a set WrestleMania opponent yet?
No, so he will be facing the winner of a battle royal at an MSG house show later on this month.
What?
Which is likely going to be Drew McIntyre, unless something changes. Which I'm fine with. I really hope that somehow Sheamus gets involved in it as well.
That's boring.
And we get
shit. That's boring shit. I don't give a fuck about.
Well, you say that. You say that, but the match of 2022 was absolutely Sheamus versus Gunther in a Clash of the Castle.
Oh yeah.
So
and not something involving Kenny Omega.
Exactly. Because I will. No, that's this year. I will say that it was incredible. So if you give me Gunther versus McIntyre versus Sheamus, I'm here for it, man, because I think that they will tear the roof off the place, and I think that Gunther's really fucking good. Surprise, surprise. So him versus anybody is going to be great.
Oh, Gunther's especially with how much he's cut down, way more athletic now.
And McIntyre and Sheamus, their problem has never been in the ring. They've always put on fun matches. So I'm here that. If we get Gunther versus McIntyre versus Sheamus, that might be the match I would look forward to the most at WrestleMania.
Wow, really?
Absolutely. If we get Gunther versus McIntyre, that's probably still the match I'm looking forward to the most at WrestleMania. I just feel like, if there's going to be a big match like that, they're gonna pull it off. Because they're and spoiler alert, I'm a mark for fucking strong style, so they're gonna play it up in a strong style match,
Style.
which is I think best for business. So of course that might be the match of WrestleMania for me. But so with Lesnar officially selecting Omos, it looks and we're seeing weird fucking vignettes. It looks like it's going to be Lashley versus Wyatt.
Ugh.
Which is the other side of that coin, which is just super.
Yeah.
I mean,
Super weird.
I'm not excited for Omos and Lesnar, to be honest. Like, I don't think I'm not excited for Omos versus anybody.
No, I'm really not.
Yeah,
So-
no, you're right.
You know who they need to put Omos against? Fucking Nia Jax, so they can both just fucking bury each other. And get it over with.
Woo!
God.
I would like to see Omos versus the unemployment line personally.
Wow.
Omos
He would
versus
still
Goldberg.
He would still fucking
Omos
lose that.
Omos versus Goldberg. Have Goldberg drop him on his fucking neck with a failed jackhammer.
I mean, Goldberg's looking for a retirement match. He says WWE owes him one.
I did.
You know what?
read that.
WWE owes him God. They owe him
Easy,
nothing.
Poot. Easy. Easy. So
Oh,
wait, you mentioned
My
the whole like
fucking blood
WWE
heart.
owes me this.
my
This
heart
blah blah
blood.
blah blah blah. My heart blood. What do we know what? Because he mentioned at least in what I read, he was like, "Oh, I did WWE a favor, and they owe me a retirement match." Like, what favor did he do them? And what's he
back.
referencing?
He probably was referencing coming back and like carrying
the
the
Undertaker?
title and like
Almost killing the Undertaker. Yeah, good job. Idiots.
Coming back and like taking a very high price contract for like 4 matches. He probably thinks that he was
dumb
doing
cunt.
that as a favor
What a
because
dumb cunt
Goldberg
he
and they
is.
need him. I don't.
Oh, so there might not have. There's probably not like an
No,
actual thing that he did
absolutely.
for WWE. He just
No, he's just lost in
He's
his own
clueless.
fucking. Yeah,
WWE needs Goldberg like I need a fucking asshole on my elbow. Come on, get over it, idiots.
No, I agree. I was just
God.
like I mentioned that I saw it.
Now
No,
it's
but,
got my
I
heart
think-
blood going.
I think Lashley versus Wyatt could be okay.
That's-
Better, honestly.
You
Honestly-
sweet summer child.
Better. Well, I mean, we were all
Well?
like, we were all like, oh, the pitch black match is gonna be crap, and I thought it was interesting. I thought it was fun for what it was.
Neat. It was neat. I'll
Right.
give you that. Like I
So,
said, overall, it was a decent match. But
it was short, which was weird. But other
it
than
was
that, yeah.
it was short, and I could have done without all the fucking obscene logo placement.
Yeah, we've been over that for sure.
But the black light thing was cool. But then fucking Uncle Howdy like pretty much completely missing LA Knight with the giant elbow drop from the heavens. Kind of took the steam out of the sails for me at the end. But whatever.
That's too
and
good.
I'll
Bo
say
Dallas
this.
is not a star.
I'm more excited for Lashley versus Wyatt than I would be for Wyatt versus Howdy. I think that this match makes more sense.
How?
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
How-
That's the best part. He's like, hopefully Tom will gloss over this. How?
No.
Man, I don't fucking know.
No, I mean, if honestly, like throwing Lashley in there, they're like, I mean, I'm sure they could try to build up a story between now to Mania. We still got weeks to go, but like, what the actual fuck? It would make so much more sense. I would be more emotionally invested with a bad quality Howdy versus Wyatt match than a good technically match, like a good technical match of Lashley versus Wyatt with no fucking story.
You're silly.
Like-
You're silly. I don't. This isn't.
Give me a story. I get
This isn't 1994. We don't need fucking soap operas anymore. I watch wrestling to see fucking technical acumen and like 7-star matches.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
yes,
That's
yes.
what you got from Wyatt and LA Knight.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
You thought it was a good match. Well, so
I
this
thought it
match?
was entertaining.
Well,
That
why was
but-
it entertaining?
bullshit at its best.
but not because of the story, because of everything around it.
But there was no technical acumen in there. That wasn't a fucking 7-star match.
I didn't say that's the only reason I watch wrestling. I'm saying the reason I am drawn toward it is because of that.
Well, good for you. I'm drawn towards stories and fucking characters. The moves are secondary. Listen, the Ricochet is the prime example. How many times do fucking people pop for Ricochet and his whole fucking flippy doos, and then once they were over that, they're like, big fucking who cares?
Shove a thumb up your ass.
Exactly.
Hoot.
Exactly. All back. I'm serious.
I'm fucking
Stories.
proud of me.
Listen, stories, and story work, and characters. Look at Sami Zayn's the prime.
Proud of me.
I'm proud of you too, Poot. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my point out before Beef interrupts me. Sami Zayn is the prime example of long-term storytelling and character development at its best. It's been the storyline for the last year plus.
And how did it work out for Sami Zayn? Doing all that great character work, all that great story work. Where's he at?
He was fucking
not
potentially
getting a world title match at WrestleMania.
But you believed that he would, did you not?
I did.
Did they work?
And now I know.
They worked you over, did they not?
Because they have let me down.
Hold on.
This is fun.
Because they have let me down. I'm not going to hold on. I'm going to answer the question you asked me. Because they have let me down, I have since decided that instead of looking at WrestleMania like, hey man, this is the greatest. Because I mean, honestly, like what feuds is WrestleMania blowing off? Tell me one feud that's happening at WrestleMania that's blowing off.
Usos versus Owens and Zayn.
One. You're right. One. That's it. What else?
Nothing. Give me the fucking card.
Nothing. Cody versus Roman is not a long-term story. Rhea versus Charlotte is not a long-term story. I mean,
not every single one has to be a long-term story. But look at the fucking match that Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns had. Did they do fucking 20,000 fucking flippy doos and do a whole bunch of moves? No, but they told a fucking story in the ring that made you go, holy fucking shit, this is amazing.
It was a great match, but it was no Ospreay versus Omega.
Okay, but hold on. No, to your credit, you've said before that's why you watch AEW, because you get a little bit of everything. You want good storytelling. Oh, wait. So you want good storytelling, you can have this. You want a 7-star match, you can have this. You want fucking strong style, you can have this. So what's wrong with me liking the storytelling and you liking the...
You absolutely can't. All I'm saying is if you put Wyatt versus Howdy in a match, I don't think it would be as good as Wyatt versus Lashley. If you put Wyatt and Lesnar in a match, I don't think it would be as good as Lashley versus Wyatt. I think that Lashley could probably have better matches and probably a better story with guys like Lesnar or even Braun Strowman. But again, I am trying to make chicken salad out of the chicken shit that we're being given. And again, there are going to be some incredible matches at WrestleMania. Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins is going to be outstanding. I anticipate Cody versus Roman to be really fucking good too. I think that all the women's matches so far are shaping up to be doozies as well. So it's okay that not every match is going to be a barn burner. Sometimes it's going to be okay to see Lesnar and Omos probably fucking shoot punch each other for like 3.5 minutes before Lesnar finishes them off.
It's never okay to see Omos in the fucking match with anybody, because
I think
he's the some shits. He's probably worse. This is a close tie between him and Goldberg being the worst, but they're both right there.
I bet you Lesnar potatoes him a bunch. I bet that's a good. I bet you it's going to be a hard-hitting match. If it is a hard-hitting match, if they work it like a strong style match, and I know it's not going to be like a direct strong, but if they work it very close to the chest.
Yeah, he'll be like, this isn't fucking Raw Underground anymore there, buddy.
Right. Like, I think if they are not pulling punches, I think it could be okay. And again, I understand that, and I just made a plea last week. How many Lesnar matches do we have left at WrestleMania? He's a megastar. Brock Lesnar is a megastar. In the line of Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin, and The Rock before him.
Right.
So, like, I don't like the fact that one of his matches are being, is being wasted on Omos.
Agreed.
But I am saying that I know what's happening. So unless there's like a last-minute swerve, which probably isn't going to happen, I think that I'm trying to look at the bright side. And it's the same with Wyatt and Lashley. Like, would Howdy versus Wyatt made more sense? I don't know. Like that whole fucking this whole fucking story has been just all over the place.
I can hear Beef like getting exasperated and like being like just like
no, I mean,
not with you two talking with
it's exasperation because of how badly they fouled up the Bray Wyatt return.
Oh, I agree. I'll agree with you on that. For me, in my opinion, that I would rather see Howdy versus Wyatt because I want something that makes more sense from a storyline perspective. I want to try to get invested. I want to be invested in Bray Wyatt and what's going on with him, but they're making it really, really hard. And throwing Lashley in out of fucking left field just because Bray Wyatt says, "I'll take whoever the winner is," doesn't make sense. There's no connecting the dots there. So for me, it's a complete disconnect. I'm sure I'm gonna try to enjoy the match. I'm sure I will enjoy. I'm with you that I will enjoy Wyatt versus Lashley more than Lesnar versus Omos, just because I can't fucking stand Omos. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I would have rather seen something that just connected the dots a little bit better than this haphazardly fucking hatched plan.
I just feel like there hasn't been any kind of a long-term plan in place with Bray Wyatt.
And definitely not.
And it's surprising. It's really surprising because, like, for as creative a mind as Wyatt is, you would think that Triple H would, I don't know, like really like want to cultivate that and have something for him, but it just seems like he's an afterthought, and I don't get it. I mean, unless, again, I've said I'll give it till after Mania. If something isn't happening within the first month or two after Mania, because it's typically our nice reset and new stories start. Let's build up for this whole next year, man. It's now or never. Like they gotta get the ball rolling somehow. They got to.
I'm reminded of something I heard or read once about Vince Russo and Vince McMahon, how they, like, apart, they're just the drizzling shits, both of them. But, like, together, they, like, funneled the good ideas from each other and, like, got away from the terrible ideas from each other. And, like, I wonder if, weirdly enough, like, that Vince McMahon wasn't a gatekeeper for Bray Wyatt, more or less. That, like, said, "Hey, man, I really like what you're doing, but we gotta, like, focus this." Because that's what I think this whole thing since fucking last year has been, is unfocused. It's very creative, and, like, I think that it absolutely could go a million different ways. They did a Firefly Funhouse the other week that I thought was very entertaining, very fun, but, like, nonsensical. It didn't make any sense as to why I was seeing it. So,
especially when you think that we're supposed to be getting away from the Fiend. Like, I think I remember hearing Bray or seeing a quote from Bray saying something like, "Well, that version of Bray, like he's saying he would never go back to the Swamp Wizard version of himself, or the Fiend. He's saying, those characters are done, and moving forward, this is the new, it's a whole new character." Well, like, what the fuck is this character? I don't know what it is. I'm so confused.
Maybe that's kind of the point, man. We're seeing like Bray Wyatt, like, as he's Wyndham Rotunda being a wrestler, and he doesn't have anything to grab onto. He's created this world. He's created all these things, and he's kind of lost. He's kind of fumbling in the dark, looking for something, and he has, like, these demons and ghosts chasing him. And, like, I'm trying to sit here and, like, go, maybe there's more to this than we're seeing, and there'll be a payoff and an aha moment. But the problem with that kind of thinking is if it doesn't happen that way, then we're fucked. And it's just going to be underwhelming no matter what. And that's kind of my problem with this. And that's why I was so excited. And then I thought about what Ransom said, and I was like, I'm just like, I don't fucking, I'm not going to get my hopes up on this one. I'm going to cross my fingers and hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And right now, man, we're standing in line for fucking Splash Mountain, and they're going, your wait is 15 minutes. You're like, great. And then it's like, your wait is 20 minutes. And you're like, oh, well, okay, it's kind of crowded. Your wait is 45 minutes. Uh-oh. And then, we're waiting. Your wait is now 2 hours. And then it says, with a little tilde next to it. And you're like, fucking neat. Like, that's kind of the thing, is it's like, it's a bunch of waiting. We are waiting and waiting for something to kick off. And that's the fucking problem, is that nothing has really kicked off. It's been a bunch of the equivalent of whenever, like, if you guys ever played D&D, or you've ever watched a cheesy, like, fantasy movie or something, and you get this. It's called, like, fucking mystic speak, where you get, long ago in the days of yore, when the ancients ruled the times, the tomes were told, and like, you just have, like, repeating stuff like that sounds fucking mystic and sounds fucking unique, but you're sitting there and you're like, okay, but, like, if you're just going to keep introducing big bad things, then what's the big bad? There's no consequences. If it's the thing that I like to say often, if everything's a priority, nothing's a priority. If everything is spooky, nonsensical, weird shit, nothing is spooky, nonsensical, weird shit. Like, that's my point. Like, that's my problem. I'm here.
That makes sense.
You guys know, I'm here for the weird. I'm here for the off the wall. I'm here for that stuff. However, eventually, I'm going to need something that's going to appeal to my fucking lizard brain, okay? I'm going to need something that's going to, like, I'm going to need something that's going to make me just go, ha, 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 yay. Like, I need, like, you do. I mean, like, that's, it can't all be up all the time. You got to have a little bit of ebb and flow. And right now it's just fucking, like, it's insisting on itself. I love Wyndham Rotunda. I think he is one of the best creative minds, but whenever it's done to death, and you're, it's like a little kid. It's like a little kid who constantly has a power to deflect the powers of his friends whenever you're playing superheroes. No.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Swamp Wizard Bray. Then there's this big bad fiend. But wait, there's this Uncle Diddlefuck. Like, like, I'm just like,
beauty.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Uncle
like,
Diddlefuck. That's definitely in the hallway game closet.
That's why I said I want more. We want more, and if we get more, if all this eventually pays off, and then we get like a modus operandi, and we get a statement, like a manifesto moment, that would be fantastic, because we would then have some kind of framework and something to just kind of go, aha, versus, kind of, like I said, fumbling in the dark. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
No, you're right on the mark, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. And it just feels like we talk about, WrestleMania is like the big show, like it is the big blow off show. It really should be, I talked about even though I talked about how there's not really a lot of blow offs here.
Blowjob.
Thanks everybody. Bye.
No. Not ending on that weird goof.
I
do it.
I feel like
No.
there should have been more long-term booking in place. And I feel like a lot of the secondary matches here weren't, because again, like in the fall we were talking about Gunther versus Lesnar. That would have been a long-term booking. And if you follow the path when they had their confrontation in WrestleMania, or at the Royal Rumble rather, if they would have led to a WrestleMania match, that would have been logical.
Mm-hmm.
But it just feels like at some point, and then I hate to say this way, but I'm going to say it this way. It felt like somebody took the script and tore it up and was like, nope, we're doing something different. And it feels like all that changed pretty late in the day.
Yuck.
Well, yeah. I mean, look at the matches you've got that feel very cookie cutter thrown together. Lesnar, Lembler, Omos, no build up, just thrown together. Wyatt Lashley, no build up, just thrown together. Like I would think most of the matches so far that have been announced have just kind of been like, hey, guess what? We're announcing these matches. Babooyah. Enjoy Mania. I mean, the only one for me, at least, that has any real build up is Cody and Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else seems like very, very thrown together. And for a random ass pay-per-view, like, a Backlash, No Way Out, whatever. Pick one of your non-Big Four pay-per-views. Those pay-per-views, I don't give a crap if they're just random ass matches thrown together. Would I like them to be more story-driven? Sure. But I'm okay with, the non-Big Four being random thrown together matches or thrown together like a couple weeks ahead of time. Who cares? Don't care. I mean, it'll be fun, whatever. But, for SummerSlam, Rumble, Mania, especially Mania, that is your showcase of the Immortals. That's your biggest show of the year. That's the Super Bowl of wrestling. And there should be lots of build-up. There should be lots of anticipation for story-driven matches. And I'm not just in it for story-driven matches. Like there needs to be a good balance between story and in-ring action. And, there are times when I'm perfectly fine with just in-ring action being the only thing that's really going on in a match. That's fine. But at least in my opinion, WrestleMania needs to be both story-driven for the most part and in-ring work. It's okay to have a couple like thrown together matches. If the in-ring work is going to be tremendous, fine, throw them together. But I don't know. I think there needs to be a lot more build-up. There needs to be a lot more emphasis and planning when it comes to Mania matches. And I'm not getting that with this Mania. This Mania doesn't have that.
I mean, yeah. And I think that's kind of been the way of things recently. Long-term booking hasn't been a strong forte. I like how they are pulling some tendrils. Obviously Zayn and Owens versus the Usos, when it gets added, is going to be another big story-driven match.
Sure.
And like
that's a good one.
The redemption of Cody Rhodes are the two big stories. I think another story is not necessarily Gunther versus McIntyre, but rather Gunther's quest for being the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in history.
If they work that into the story, then I'm fine with it.
Absolutely, and they'd be dumb not to mention during the match.
Yes.
Rhea versus Charlotte is 3 years in the making, and they've done a good job of like alluding to that here and there, and absolutely they need to focus on it. Finn versus Edge. We're going to get Finn versus Edge. That's going to be
that's a good one.
a good story coming together.
Yeah.
So like they're Asuka, basically kind of like coming back from the brink of who cares to be the supreme fighting machine again. Like that's so like there are stories here. They're just not being presented in the most intelligent of ways, I don't think. And
That's true. Yeah.
you know, the fact that we are getting some thrown together matches like Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins, which again I'm 100% here for, but it's kind of out of nowhere.
Well, Logan Paul's an attraction, so
Right.
it's okay that that's kind of thrown together because he's not going to have matches on the weekly.
But he's a talented attraction, though. We got to make sure that's clear.
But by that same token, like, Lesnar's a talented attraction too.
That's fair, but Omos is not.
Yeah,
So that's what's doing it for me in that match. If it was Lesnar versus somebody that could have a good match with him, fine. Throw it together because Lesnar's an attraction, but Omos isn't. Like Omos is a throwaway. That's a throwaway.
He's a mess. Well, and absolutely, I believe that Lesnar said, "Hell yeah, I'll face Omos," because he knew he was going to fucking win.
Oh, sure.
Like, and that was a driving force. And you know what? Like, maybe in retrospect, we'll be able to say, okay, Brock Lesnar squashing Omos helped Lesnar get back on track and kind of fix his WrestleMania losing streak. Because he lost he lost to Rollins, he lost to McIntyre, he lost to Lashley. So like he's not been hot at WrestleMania recently. So absolutely he needed a win. I don't know, man.
Shit your pants if Omos won that match.
I would be disappointed.
I might fucking leave Beef's house and just come home and.
It'd be a fucking problem. We'll put it that way. It'd be a fucking problem. But boys, we're getting long in the tooth here. I don't mean to cut off the Mania chat, but we've got a long road ahead of us. We got plenty to talk about.
I mean, the road is not getting the road's getting shorter, man. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 more shows. So yeah, it's creeping up.
Before this wraps up, I wanted to say something about Bray Wyatt and his match before we lost it. Is this what's the over under on whether or not this is going to be a regular match or if it's going to be one of these Bray Wyatt goof off matches?
I mean, are we talking like goof off match like the
not
Neon...
the Cena one? That was
okay.
nuts, but like a weird goofy Wyatt stipulation, type match.
It's absolutely going to be something outside of the mind.
Okay, so, and this kind of harkens back a little bit to what Poot was saying with pulling the trigger on Wyatt. I can deal with some goofy, spooky Wyatt matches peppered in here and there throughout the year, but if that's all this dude is going to be, I'm gonna get tired of that too real fast, because even if you look back at like the Phenom that came before Bray Wyatt in The Undertaker, he had regular ass matches. How many times did Teddy Long come out and just throw somebody in a random ass match because they pissed him off with The Undertaker? They were just regular matches. Of course, The Undertaker sauntered to the ring in typical Undertaker fashion, but it wasn't goofy lights, bullshittery, spooky booby nonsense matches. They were most of the Undertaker matches were regular ass matches. And I think Bray Wyatt, to stop people getting bored of him, he's going to eventually have to start having regular matches, and they're going to have to start happening on the weekly. Like, I don't think this is a dude that can be saved for big ass pay-per-views, unless that was one of the things that he wanted to come back for. Like, hey, I'm going to come back for the big ones. And that's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be on the big ones, and I'm going to have, spooky Bray Wyatt matches, and that's who this guy's going to be. But if that's not the case, he's going to have to start having some regular ass one fall matches. He can't just keep having these blackout, weird out, off in the swamp, creepy ass Bray Wyatt matches. Am I wrong here? Like, I know Beef is a fan of the cinematic, and I have no problem with the cinematic if they're done sporadically and at the right times. But if it's going to be at every one of this dude's matches is going to be a wacky, stipulated, floofy funhouse weirdo match, that's going to really lose. The shine's going to come off of that real fast, will it not? Or am I just not open-minded?
No, you're absolutely right, man. They absolutely need to let him show out on regular television.
He has wrestling ability, so why can't
Absolutely.
he just go out and have regular wrestling matches? We've seen him do it before. It's not like, Swamp Wizard or even Fiend Bray Wyatt was just hot trash in the ring.
Well,
So he needed to have some sort of something or other match.
So Bray, when he was the Fiend, didn't wrestle a ton of matches as Bray. He didn't wrestle a ton of matches on the weekly. He just kind of showed up as the Fiend on big pay-per-view moments.
Yeah, but that was compelling. That's the difference.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. But the problem is it was compelling until it wasn't. The answer here is, and honestly, if you're taking my opinion for what it's worth, I think he was at his best whenever he first came up, and he was kind of the Swamp Wizard with the Wyatt family. Yes, his promos bordered the nonsensical. But so did Ultimate Warrior. So did Macho Man Randy Savage, and they were WWE champions as well. And Bray, I think, has a way of orating that people care about. And he still wrestled on the weekly. Now, he did have the Wyatt family to kind of wrestle more or less for him so that he could still be involved without being, in the spotlight. But, they were definitely using him more. The jury's still out. I really got to lean on the fact that they didn't have a plan for him for WrestleMania, but they want to showcase him, so that's where we are. And I think that Lashley's probably playing ball because he's like, you know what? I'm gonna keep saying yes, and eventually someone's gonna put a title back in my hands.
Could be,
but that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, I think it's time. Poot, say something stupid.
Oh,
Farb Noble. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Farm novel.